Well, hello everyone, and welcome once again to our next codon ring, the Ring of Illusions. This Ring of Illusions has two gene keys, and there's one of my cats saying hi. Gene keys 28 and gene key 32. These two gene keys will be active. 32 will be October 14th through the 19th, and 28 will be October 25th through the 30th. And the Hebrew letter that is the mother that it gave birth to this ring of illusion and gene keys is the 11th Hebrew letter, also known as Kaf. And I will now show you a picture. Here we go. Here's beautiful Kaf, made with one continuous swoop of the pen or the brush. And if you recall, perhaps you probably don't, it looks an awful lot like our last letter, I believe, which is the second letter of the alphabet, bet. But the difference is Kaf is made with one continuous swoop, and bet is made with a strong horizontal line and vertical and a swoop, made in 2 or 3 different movements. Okay, I think there's a reason for that, which I'll share in a second. Now, Kaf can look different depending on its placement in a word or a sentence, I believe. If it's at the end of a word or a sentence, it's going to look like this. I do not know the reason for that, but typically we see the C in the middle of the letter looking as beautiful as it does here in a very swoopy, continuous symbol. Okay, enough of that. Okay, so what is this little theory I have about why this letter is one kind of watery, swoopy symbol? Well, there's a Hebrew creation story that I do not know all the details. I just have kind of a gist. The creation story where the Lord asked all the numbers to promote themselves to him because he was looking for letters to be channels of light to earth into the physical plane, as well as to be part of creation. And of course, all the numbers wanted to be part of that. And all of them came along in front of the Lord and promoted themselves, kind of like a Shark Tank, and described how wonderful that they would be to be part of this creation and be part of the earth creation and channel of light. Well, of course, Kaf did the same thing. She really wanted to do it. And the Lord denied her. And the story goes is the reason why the Lord denied her plea is because her job was too important in the maintenance and structure of the universe. So this is one of Kaf's jobs. Well, it is her job, is to maintain the maintenance and structure of universes. And it is said that when she previously tried to show God that she could be a channel of light to earth, that she very nearly caused the destruction and the annihilation of 200,000 galaxies. And this is why God denied her, because she caused too much destruction. She is that powerful. So this is why she remains in the cosmic watery realm at the throne of God. And this is why I say she has one swoop. She has not severed her connection from the ocean of consciousness, whereas some of the other numbers have straight vertical lines. They have entered into the physical plane, and they have now, have some sharp edges and can be made in dual strokes, where she is not. She is one beautiful letter, maintaining her wateriness. She is also a water letter. Okay, so let's see, what else do we want to say about Kaf? There's so much to say about Kaf, and I'm going to try to go quickly because I know my videos are too long. Let's see, because she maintains the structure of universes, this means that she also holds cosmic laws and ordinances. She is the big holder of as above, so below. And because she is the holder of the cosmic ordinances and laws, she is, again, she is the holder of justice. And switching to major arcana and the planet or the zodiac, Libra And I've put her with the justice card, right? Okay, because she is the holder of justice, cosmic law. So some of the energy that she represents determination, strong will, strength, the desire to be creative. She is daring. And because of her previous desire to be a channel of light to the physical plane, she gives us that desire to serve as a link to the cosmos. And what she's also connected with will make sense. She represents in our internal processes and energy, our internal powerhouse, of course, Kundalini. She is revolutionary action. She also represents high intelligence, but the intelligence that includes the heart. But she also represents high intellect, very strong brain functioning power, particularly in the areas of mathematics, engineering, of course, the law profession, professorship, university teaching at that high level of teaching. What else? She also, going back to the major arcana, you know that there's 2 pillars. So she represents 2 pillars. We'll talk about that later, 2 aspects. Let me turn that off, always. I'm sorry about that. Making all this noise. She has 2 pillars, but in the middle, there's the throne from which Kaf sits. So while she represents these 2 pillars, and the pillars are known as willpower and faith, what she really represents is, because she's in the middle, she represents the balance between the 2 polarities. So she represents having a balanced, neutral perspective on things, not getting too dependent on one aspect or the other, which we'll talk at the end. Okay, so Kaf literally means the palm of the hand, and also relates to the soles of the feet. She also represents the crown of thorns. And putting all these, the palms, the soles, and the crown, she also represents, if you stretch your arms out, what do you get? You get symbolic crucifixion, as well as the symbol of the 5-pointed star, which is known as the pentagram, which is also known as the symbol for the Lord, symbol for God. So this is everything that is related to Kaf. And like we said, Kaf is the crown. So she is also the top sphere of the tree of life, known as Keter, the highest point that connects us to the cosmos. And she also, because it's a crown, this is why, obviously in the Hebrew tradition, but in most religious traditions, they wear some kind of head dress. And it is, Kaf wants us to remember our connection to God. So they wear the cap or the kippah, the yarmulke, to represent, to remind them moment to moment of their connection to God. But it is also known, not only is it called palm of hand, but it's the palm of hand of God, resting, ready to receive God, as well as keeping you safe. So they use the cap or headdresses, or the nun thing, some kind of headdress, as a reminder of our connection and to remember God moment to moment, which means living in the present moment. Okay, what else does Kaf represent? Kaf, as well as there are 3 letters, Hebrew letters, 11, 12, and 13, that all represent the pineal gland. So Kaf, 11, 12, and 13 represent the pineal gland and the Holy Trinity, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. And so Kaf is found in the pineal gland because she is while she is still in the cosmos, she is creating that link through our pineal gland. And the pineal gland is called our spiritual atom. the home of the Holy Spirit, and is known as our magnetic center, our connection to the cosmos. Let's see, what else do I want to say? Talked about the cap. This is why we have the kippah. And yes, so that is her biggest message, is to always to be in the remembrance of God, and to always know that it is through here and our eternal paying attention to our inner being, our internal process, that we, and focusing on the crown and pineal gland, that we have this connection, constant connection to God, where we are kept safe, but also can receive. Okay. All right. Other aspects of Kath are, she represents the, I don't want to say the word experiences, but the realization of self-realization, awakening, or enlightenment. And these things are done through the two pillars of willpower and faith. She also is the bridge, or the connector, or the bringer of bliss, rapture, and samadhi. So she is also the bridge and the deliverer of all the cities. Okay. And these cities, and particularly bliss, rapture, and samadhi, these three things are experienced during meditation, when the soul, the awareness, leaves the physical body through the head during meditation, and we reach these great states of bliss and rapture and samadhi. And during these three, during samadhi in particular, one of the higher levels of samadhi, this is where the illusions are shattered. So we can say that Kath is also the annihilator of illusions, particularly as these two gene keys talk about fear, failure, and purposelessness. She wants to tell you that when you are in the remembrance of God, when you are focused inward and in deep meditation, not only will you not know fear, you will know and realize the futility, the falsity of fear, or the feeling that you were ever a failure, or that you ever will be a failure, and that your life has no purpose. You cannot be in these states, even having tiny glimpses, and feel fear and know that your life has no purpose, or that you are no purpose. You will see immediately that it's all false. You're all here for learning, and you are the purpose, that your spiritual evolution is the purpose of everything, and nothing else really matters. So these are kinds of the things that Kath really represents and wants you to know by connecting with her. Okay, so speaking from a Kundalini perspective, which I always bring to these talks, Kath and these, the two cities that are connected with this codon ring, and the cities are veneration and immortality. They are really only activated, let me back up. Well, they're activated when Kundalini reaches Bindu point. And when I say reaches Bindu point, it's when it's a stabilized, I've reached that mark and now I can go further. This does not mean that Kundalini, when you're in deep meditation and you reach levels of samadhi, there are about 5 different levels of samadhi, Kundalini can rise up, whether she's still based in lower aspects of the body, say she hasn't completely risen. She can come up and touch Bindu, but then she comes back down, and she can give you these momentary glimpses of oneness, veneration, or immortality. Okay, but it's not stabilized, but she really is one with you. Kath is one with you when Kundalini reaches the Bindu point, and Bindu comes after the Makara point. I'm sharing a little Kundalini here, I hope you don't mind. Makara is the upper Ajna level, brow chakra. It's the upper, there's an upper level to the brow chakra. I don't want to call it a chakra, it's not really a chakra. But after Makara, then Kundalini rises to Bindu, and then eventually Parabindu. And Bindu is in the crown of the head. I believe Parabindu is above the head. And this is, I'm getting somewhere. This is where veneration and immortality come in. So in this ring, the ring of illusions, it talks about the ring past naught. The ring past naught is when Kundalini reaches Bindu, and then either in between Bindu, after Bindu, or touches Bindu, and it's called a 4-inch gap. The 4-inch gap has been filled. And it's this 4-inch gap, I don't know where it is exactly, gets filled in, and you're now hovering in the Parabindu arena, or between Bindu and Parabindu, still processing your stuff. This is still a process of working things out, and it's still an expansion process. The job is not over yet, but it's called the ring past naught, because at this point, the individual self has merged with the cosmic self, and the idea and the concept that there is an individual I here has been shattered, and you are now functioning from pure consciousness, okay? Of course, this is all relative to how much processing, more ego stuff that needs to be cleared away, or dross, or old karmas, or vasanas, or samskaras. It depends. But this is what CAF is all about, is about reaching Bindu and filling in that 4-inch gap to create a constant connection with the cosmos, with CAF, to expand and annihilate all of these illusions that you have about a separate self. Okay, I went way off my notes, so let me just share with you, this very process has happened to me in the last 2.5 weeks. It is shocking to me how, as we go through these letters, I'm having the experience and the realizations. Prior to the letters coming along, I had no idea this is what CAF was about. But in the last week or so, I had consult with my teacher, and she confirmed all of this. So I'm just sharing this with you. It's new for me, but I can tell you that this is a huge game changer for me internally. And remember, CAF represents an internal process, your internal powerhouse. It's all internal. So everything for me has changed on the inside, while externally, nothing is different, right? Still got to work on my stuff, but internally something is different and something is changing. I'll have to, tell you more later when I figure it out. So so I just want to talk about that 4-inch gap. It is absolutely, for me, was a very physical experience. There was no denying what was happening. I didn't know what was happening at the time. I had to have my teacher tell me what was going on. But when I described the experience, it was like a volcano. Some mountain was erupting through my head. It was very, very physical, and it was amazing. It felt wonderful, but it was very physical, and it just culminated in you could feel it like filling in. And that now I feel filled in, something feels different, filled in. Whereas before, and probably you experience this too, when you think about your higher self or feel your higher self, there's a little bit of a gap or air, okay? There's no longer that gap for me. So I guess the ring past naught has been passed or something. I don't know. Anyway, speaking about, let's talk about veneration, my experience with veneration. In the Gene Keys book, Richard talks about how it is the one light that emerges, the one light that emerges. And yes, this is what happens. This is what happened, I guess, when I reached Bindu, or maybe touched Parabindu. This one light that Richard speaks about in veneration, I think it's the one light, maybe the one original light. I don't know, but it's what people say is more than 1,000 suns, the brilliance of this light. And I can say without a doubt, they are absolutely correct. So during meditation, I guess when this point was reached or touched or whatever, my awareness was kind of like above and to the side, kind of like a 360 view. And what I saw, I could see my physical body here at this level, but then my head was like off, like I didn't have a top of my head, the head was gone. And I have to say, I do feel headless now. I don't know how to explain that. I feel headless. But anyway, what I saw was like the most brilliant, like 1,000 suns, like fire, like rocket ship fire, but turning this way, and like the jet, like just spewing out of my head, like rocket flames. I don't know how to explain it, but I thought I had seen brilliant lights in meditation, the brilliant white fire lights and then the white diamond light. But this was beyond brilliant. It was just like they say, 1,000 suns coming out of my head. And this is the one light that emerges when Kundalini reaches Bindu or Parabindu. And this veneration, I didn't really know what that word meant, so I looked it up, and it means to hold deep respect and to have reverence. And this is absolutely what has been happening to me during this whole process from Makara point to Bindu or Parabindu. During my meditations, Kundalini, if you don't know, Kundalini causes Kriyas, but Kundalini moves you. You have no control. I mean, you could stop it, but you are not moving your body at all. Your body just moves as she's working stuff out, but she also moves you into positions of reverence. And this is what she did. I didn't know what was happening. My teacher had to explain everything to me. So as I learn, I'll share with you. But she absolutely was moving me into positions of reverence. Okay. I have never done that in my life, but Kundalini now, it just happens in my meditation. And this absolutely feels like veneration. You feel the utmost reverence for God, the cosmos, this whole process, for yourself. You have deep, deep respect for what you're going through and just the whole process of life. It is absolutely a beautiful city. So I encourage you to really stick with or get with a deep meditation program that just takes you on the inside and you just rest in your stillness, because this is something you can't even describe. Okay, Richard also talks about veneration, that there's an experience of knowing the evolution of consciousness of all the beings or things around you. And that is absolutely the case. I've had this several times, even prior to reaching all these Kundalini points. And it's absolutely mind-blowing. And yes, the deep respect and reverence that you have for life. I can't tell you, I'd just be walking around in my backyard. This has happened several times, so it's no accident. And all of a sudden, so it just hits me, and suddenly I know the school level, the evolutionary level of everything around it, and I feel it, and I feel connected to them. And then I feel myself, and I go, it's hilarious. I'm here learning to deal with moving a body, being the running man, as the Hebrew tradition calls it, moving around, having movement, and all at the same time having free will and making choices and trying to connect and growing. And it's crazy what we have to deal with. It's hilarious, but it's just so beautiful to know, because at that moment of understanding, everything is your equal and you're one, and you feel this deep connection with the chair. You know where it's at. It's in preschool, and maybe you're at university level, but you're all the same, and it's beautiful. And I just find reverence and respect for all the things that are around me, that are on this journey with me. We are sharing it together. So I would say, look around you and see what's around you. What these beautiful things that are around you, sharing in sharing its evolution with you. It's beautiful. They chose to be with you. Okay, so moving along, once again, making this video too long. Let's see, immortality, of course, is when Kundalini has reached Bindu and beyond, Parabindu. And at Parabindu, and in between Bindu and Parabindu, this is when most, if not all, identifications, images, and contents of the mind are being whittled away, if not blown away. And then Kundalini begins working on the deepest, deepest of impressions from our non-verbal time. These are the subtlest of impressions, like our attitudes. She's working to remove the usness from us, and any sense of separation dies. And all of this is being done from a state of, it's pure consciousness, okay? Because of that 4-inch gap has been filled, and most identifications have been cleared away. And, ego is not functioning in the past or the future, because pretty much ego's been dwindled away. So what is working within you is pure consciousness, right? And pure consciousness is of no time. It's all right now, right? It's all in the now. And this is what immortality is all about. Yeah, and it's only pure consciousness that is at play through this vehicle. And it has no localized center or point of awareness. It just is an isness, okay? And this is what CAF is all about, this justice. The cosmic laws are functioning, pure consciousness is working through the body, and this justice is just is. You see life just as it is, not stuck on any one polarity. You're just in a neutral position. And this is truly what justice is all about, is seeing life just as it is without taking a position on either side. Okay, now to wrap this up, finally, what CAF can represent to you, if you're seeing 1111, you're seeing lots of 11s, what is CAF trying to say to you? Well, CAF is what is called a double number, and it has a dual meaning. So not only is CAF like the holder of life and immortality, but also as death as well. She represents death, not deaf, but death. Two pillars, life and death. So number 11 is called death to life. So when you see the number 11 a lot, what is it trying to tell you? Well, it's trying to wake you up. It's trying to take you from a dead position to wake you up, death to life. She's trying to wake you up out of some kind of dependent or stuckness position. This dependency can be on a religious doctrine, some kind of concept, an institution, a person. Perhaps you're reliant over, you're in a codependent relationship, anything that keeps you stuck and you're not growing. Perhaps you have in your soul contract or your life contract. It's time to wake up. It's time to move on. You're not getting it. She is going to be the deliverer of a shock. So be careful when you see the 1111. It certainly does mean it's time to wake up. But if you're not waking up, she may be delivering a shock, and she delivers very strong and powerful shocks. Remember, she's an annihilator of the illusion. She's not going to be gentle. So what kind of shocks does she deliver? Near-death experiences, illnesses that take you to the brink, or you wish you would die, or people around you, loved ones who die suddenly, sudden breakups, loss of job, loss of home, just something that's really, she's going to shake you up. Okay. So, that's what 11 is all about. She is beautiful, beautiful beyond compare. And yet she will devastate you if you're not paying attention. So stay in the present moment, meditate, make it an internal process. Forget about guided meditations, just rest, pay attention to your pineal gland, your third eye. Just stay inward, and she will come and visit you and shatter all the illusions. Okay? All right. Until next time. Bye.